I first heard of the Great Passion Play in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, back in the early 1980s. My mom and dad and some other church members went on an overnight trip to view the play. So while we were in the area, I just had to check it out. I didn't realize that the Christ of the Ozarks statue, sculpture, whatever you want to call it, was there also on the top of the mountain. Now, it's a funny story how we ended up that day. I thought we were going on Wednesday, July 13th. Well, July 13th was actually on a Tuesday, so we were a day late for the Passion Play. We toured around some, saw the Holy Land, and that's when we found out we were on the wrong day for the play and would have to come back another day.
Actors, they do what they do for y'all. They want y'all to see and feel what Christ went through. A lot of people will ask me that some of you have seen the show in the past, was it real flogging and all this? You're fixing to see what really happens as we go through this. But yes, they will put that right between their big toe. They will lift them up. But before they do, they got to put the nails in the hands, right? Look at there. Two bangs. Two bangs, two high-pitched tones. Tones play an important part in emotions, in theater and in movies. A lot of times we tend to forget that. In our music, we will actually have tones that play into it. If that is a Huey, it's Sam Walton's grandson. I'm not kidding, it really is. If it's a Huey, it is Sam Walton's grandson. No, it's a medical helicopter. We'll pray for him. Okay. But anyway, the tones are so important that we do 2 high-pitched tones over here, but here's another one. When they hit this one, they're going to hit it 3 times. It's a lower tone, right? Why? Because low tones build emotions and create emotions. A lot of things they do in movies. The best way I can explain this, Steven Spielberg did a great job at Jaws. Y'all know the music when you're about to get bit, right? Y'all know why he had to create that music, go to a composer and create something to make you feel the shark? Because Brutus didn't work. The real mechanical shark failed miserably. So they put it into your minds that there's a shark by the tones of the music. And that's what happens in theater and music and everything. It all plays a huge part, the tones. Okay? Pretty cool, right? So they'll hit this 3 times to create that low tone. And Jesus will stand right here behind this table. The disciples on each side, and he will fade away right before your eyes. Cool, right? He doesn't duck. He's actually still standing here. You just can't see him. Some of y'all look confused. Whoa. Look over, look around this way. Let's show you how this little brown door right here works. It looks like a normal door. It has a blue noodle stuck to it. The blue noodle makes it stop so that when it slams shut, you don't hear a big boom from the audience. You're not going to walk around this way a little bit. Walk all around. Because this door is pretty tricky. It looks like a normal door, but except for the fact that there's nails in it that are longer than the door. We can't measure nails here in Arkansas. But actually, this was misdirection. This door is open. 2 disciples walk in. Jesus never walked in. He walks into this one. He actually walks into a completely different room. He's walking in behind what illusion is called a screen. That's what it's called. When the lights are on, you can see him. The scrim is the same color as the back wall. It's like a screen. When the lights go out, he then fades away. It's the same as an illusionist or a magician. Well, it takes an item into a box, and all he does is, turn the light out. The owls are going to get to eat it. And they're the middle. Now be careful coming down the seal. We have metal on the bottom to keep it from falling apart. Woo! Yeah. Yeah, they're begging. Right there. Yeah, they jumped out there and bit you. Yeah. Okay. Y'all like sheep? We got to beat him. Y'all, so those of y'all that have seen the show, do y'all think he really did him? Sure. Because believe it or not, if it wraps them, it will cut them. And I've witnessed their cuts on their faces, on their backs, and on their sides, and on their shoulders from the flogging. Scott, when he's Christ, if he lets go of this rope, he's just trying to keep his back from spasming because they're hitting him so hard. Okay? They want you to feel and see what Christ went through to the best of their physical ability. Isn't that crazy? I told you we punish them. Or they punish themselves. But they do this for y'all. Okay? It is pretty incredible. For me, I really look at it as it is incredible that you come up with. Hang here long enough. And I have actually witnessed many expressions on the Christ's face that was real. Because I'm like, killing. And then I hear that pop, and then I'm like, and I see his face, I go, ooh. Then I go, kill him! Can't give up, right? We got a story to tell. And that's what it's about. They want you to feel it too much like real. That cross is wood. The reason it's wood, what happens when it drops? You're going to hear the tone, the low tone, and wood drop, not the fake sound like the old one used to do. Okay? We want you to feel it. Let's talk about this is the blood wall. Just so that you'll know. Well, you'll hear me mention it once we get inside. Torches that explode in light. Yes, here, you want to look at that and see if it's charged? What? I've never gotten but one volunteer. And they were from Arkansas. My hometown. But anyway, this is actually explosion caps. They'll put them in here, he'll pack this in a little bit, and it will actually go boom. And then Judas will run by and pick it up. It lights all by itself. The temple. Don't fear. The furniture can be put right back together. Our little centimeter guards, they're pretty good at they're pretty good craftsmen. They can put it all back. After Jesus tears it up. But we do have Satan, the Satan character. Well, he is a character. By the way, you know we just passed this house back there with a little reef on the door. You ever wonder where Satan lives? Right there. That's where he lives. Got a reef on it. Look at that knife of him. But that's where he'll poke his head out, and every now and then that's where he'll come from and go to. There's that right there. Okay? So be watching for that. Now there is a scene where he comes down this way, and he will have the torch, a fire of a torch. And as fire of the torch, he's going to have a rope, the noose for Judas. He'll take this noose and he's going to lay it up here on the temple. Guess what? He's Satan. You know what he's going to do? He's going to put that noose on fire. He's going to light it with his torch. And it's going to go boom. It's going to flame up. Then he's going to come over here to the well. He'll take that torch and dip it in this well. And as soon as it hits this well, it's going to boil up and turn red. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, and I like effects. By the way, that fire and noose, Judas is going to grab it and run with it on fire, by the way. Well, for the well, that's pretty easy. All it is highly compressed air, controlled, blows it up, and red LEDs. And then a little help from the guy in the spotlight up there on the part on y'all's left side. That's me. That's you! He's one of the actors. He's paid. But anyway, it is a special lighting that, and then we turn the stone red. It blends in with everything. We use special gels that's all mixed in with the computers and everything, and it blends with it. It's really cool, the effect that we can pull off. Over down here in the purple, that's the Sanhedrin. After that is Herod's house. Now, years ago, that was Joseph and Nicodemus' home. So scenes have changed through the years, and things change even every year. The scenery will change, our sound will change, our lighting will change, effects will change. Okay? This year we've had some major changes with a lot of new special LED setups. This whole set will change to many different colors throughout the show.
Running over people.
We're going to head this way, guys. This way. I'll tell you, this is the only play that you will see of the Passion where Jesus ascends twice.
Yep, he ascends once at the end and one off the back of the donkey he's supposed to ride into Jerusalem.
Yes, he's not kidding. The disciples have to run up and catch Jesus when he comes down.
I don't want it to be burdened down. I want to take its burdens away. Our Creator wants to take our burdens away today too. He doesn't want us to be burdened down either. As I take the burden off this vessel, I've often been reminded a little bit of a song sometimes we'll sing in church. It talks about how burdens are lifted at Calvary. Truly, our Lord really did lift our burdens on Calvary.
These stories, they apply to us all. I just tell them in ways that we can all understand them and enjoy them. So laughter this evening, it's mandatory. As a matter of fact, if you don't laugh, well, you need to get Jesus, okay? See, I think it's all right to laugh and have fun as we serve our God because we have the joy of the Lord in our hearts, don't we? Before I tell you anything about what I do as a shepherd, though, let me tell you about the weapons I carry as a shepherd. Yes, I said weapons. Me and my sheep, we go through some dangerous places. First of all, I carry my rod. My rod I carry in my right hand, so I'm always ready to use it. That way, if a wolf tries to steal one of my sheep, I'm not going to let any wolves steal my sheep, so I take off after him and then I hit him! Don't worry, sir. I know you're a person and not a wolf. I'm not going to hit you. Just like David in the Old Testament, when the lion and the bear took one of his sheep, David ran off after the lion and bear. He might have hit the lion and bear with his rod to take the sheep out of its mouth. David killed the lion and bear with his bare hands, his rod, and, well, probably even with the help of his shepherd sling. Now, who can tell me who David took on with his shepherd sling? Goliath, right? And what was Goliath? How tall was the giant? You guys weren't nearly as confident about that one. I did hear the answer is big and tall. Over 9 feet tall, depending on what type of cubit you were to use. But I can imagine that he was so tall that people would come up to him and ask him a question. I can imagine they'd say, "Goliath, how's the weather up there?" Well, let's just imagine that I'm a lot taller than I actually am. But I can imagine that Goliath might answer back, "Well, the weather's clear up here, but it's raining on you." See, he was a mean guy. He may have even spit on people. He's what you call a Philistine, and that's what you call a very funny biblical joke. Much funnier than all of you laughed just now. You all know the story, and for 40 straight days, this big old giant Goliath would come out and issue a challenge to the Israelite army. He would say, "Send me someone to fight. I want to kill him. If I kill him, you all will become our servants. But if he kills me, the rest of us will become your servants." Everyone in the Israelite army, they were terrified. They didn't think they could take on the giant. But then, little shepherd boy David came into the picture. David was a shepherd, tending his father's sheep. His father's name was Jesse. Jesse told his son David, he said, "David, I want you to send some bread to your brothers and some cheese to the commanders in the army." David loved his father, so he went, but he came at just the time that Goliath was issuing his challenge. Goliath would even go on to say something like this: "I defy your God. You think your God is all big and mighty and strong? Well, I don't think he's big enough to take on me. No, I think your God is small and puny compared to me." And I don't know if he did that laugh and hip thing like that. I can imagine he did, because he was a mean guy. And of course, David, when he saw this giant Goliath defy his God, here's what he said: "Who is this dude?" And he said, "Dude," it's right there in the scriptures. That is my version. He said, "Who is this man? How dare he defy the armies of the living God? Because my God, he lives. And because he lives, I'm going to kill the giant today." I can imagine that some people standing around David must have been like, "Man, this kid has got some guts." Other people must have been like, "Dad, we're going to see all of his guts when Goliath gets through there."
Devoted to remaining true and faithful to the scriptures. All of the play is taken from and inspired by the Bible, including passages throughout the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, as well as Isaiah, Psalms, Hosea, and 1 Corinthians. We kindly ask you to remember to turn the flash to the off position on your camera for the performance. Flash photography is prohibited during the performance. Photography is only allowed at crucifixion, resurrection, and ascension into heaven. We ask you please to remember that we do allow photography if the flash is turned off. Please remember that the amphitheater is a smoke-free environment. In further consideration for those around you, we ask you not to use cell phones during the performance. Join us now as we look back in time to the city of Jerusalem under the rule of Tiberius Caesar and Rome.
Jesus did many other signs not written here, but these are written so that you will believe that Jesus is the Messiah, and through faith will have life in his name.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was made flesh to live among us.
Lord, he has been here 4 days.
You said you believed. I said, you will see the glory of God. Father, I give thanks because you hear me. I know you always hear. I say it so those present will know you have sent me. Lazarus, come forth!
He lives! Lazarus! Oh, Jesus.
Remove the grave clothes and let him go.
I must tell the high priest.